Here we go, everyone, straight ahead, just do this one, fantastic, thank you.
And over here, please.
Just one more time, just to this one here, fantastic. Straight ahead, thank you. And then looking round, just to the strap there, thank you.
Here, please.
Nice and close together, of course, Joe. That's cool. Here. In the middle. Again, in the middle.
Guys, can we just do one turn slightly this way?
Yeah.
One more please, just this way.
And again, the eyes, my head. Eyes, just do this one, fantastic. Here we go, everyone. Thank you. Lovely. Good job, Jimmy. And then just coming back up to this one, please. Thank you very much.
And here, center, middle.
Here's the last one, just to this one. Thank you, everyone. Fantastic. Thank you.
Then just look to your left, please. Thank you very much.
Looking up and around the room, coming in.
And just here please.
No.
And just your left again please.
Alex. Sorry, Alex, one more time. Just to this one. There we go. Too much information.
And
Can you take a step forward?
just slight step forward, there we go. And a couple more here.
Yeah, please.
And back to your left.
And just to this one. Sorry, just to this one, just here. Just to this one where the hand is. There we go. Last couple, there we go.
And just one more down here please.
Very sensual.
Okay. Wait, close it.
No, you don't have to wear it. It's too late to follow the strap.
I was trying to put the pin in, but it's not working. It looked like my tits.
Can you take a step forward?
Thank you.
Down here.
And to your left please, just here straight away.
Yeah, bro.
Just looking up a little bit from there for us. That's good.
Look over here in the middle.
Over here, please.
Look up, please. And again, for me, just there we go. Just looking up a little, there we go. Then looking all the way to the left, please. Thank you. Okay.
One here, please.
And just here please, as well to your left.
Just last one, just for this one. Fantastic.
Look at that piece. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I need it. Yeah, so,
American director Alex Russell has been very successful in series to date, a case in point being The Bear. His directorial debut, Lurker, with Canadian actor Théodore Pellerin in the leading role, premiered in Berlin as a Berlinale special gala format. He plays Matthew, who, feeling bored with his job in retail, gains access to the inner circle of budding pop star Oliver. He greatly overestimates his importance to this circle and is soon prepared to do just about anything to remain relevant. A film about stardom and the fear of losing status, in other words, highly topical issues. Watch the press conference.
Bonjour et bienvenue à cette 75e édition de la Berlinale. Je m'appelle Kate Taylor, je suis une des membres du comité de sélection au festival et c'est un très grand plaisir de vous présenter Lurker à la conférence de presse en tant que scénariste et réalisateur. Alex Russell est connu pour les séries Bear et Beef. C'est son premier long métrage de fiction. C'est un film qui est très drôle, qui est aussi assez déstabilisant et psychologiquement extrêmement astucieux. Et vous avez donc deux talents. Vous avez la première ce soir dans le cadre de la soirée de gala spéciale. Ce soir à Berlin. Nous avons le scénariste et également producteur et acteur Archie Medekwe. Non, je n'ai pas écrit. Moi, j'étais juste acteur. Pardon, bien sûr, pas scénariste. Pardonnez-moi. Oui, c'est encore tôt. Nous avons l'acteur Théodore Pellerin dans le rôle de Matthew. Et le scénariste et réalisateur Alex Russell. J'ai le droit à la première question. Alex, la relation entre fan et idole, ça a beaucoup été traité au cinéma. Qu'est-ce qui vous a attiré à traiter ces thèmes? Bon, je ne sais pas si je songeais à cette relation particulière entre les fans et leur idole, mais plutôt la dynamique de groupe, entre amis. Et l'ensemble, donc de 8 mecs qui passent beaucoup de temps ensemble. On peut parler de, par image parallèle, la fraternité donc, à l'université. Mes amis à Los Angeles travaillent tous dans le milieu de la musique. Et donc, je ne sais pas si vous avez vu ce film. Oui, bien sûr. C'était comment? C'était pas mal. C'était comment à l'écran, au fait? Intervention hors micro, malheureusement. Impossible de traduire. Impossible. Moi, je suis là pour la musique. Apparemment, monsieur n'est pas content. mais nous ne l'entendons pas et il s'en
Thank you
moque
so much.
apparemment.
Was it in the Palace? Cool.
C'est passé
Sorry,
au
I'm,
Berlinale Palace.
Digressing.
No, not at all. I think we have a question just over here.
Hello.
Hello.
Interesting. Thank you for having you here. Yannis Raouzeos from myfilm.gr, Greece, film critic as well. Two questions. One to Mr. Russell. You said about male hierarchies.
Yeah.
But I can see also beyond of that, maybe, but I need your reflections, this special dialectic between master and servant and the turning at the end of this position until there is a kind of a catharsis. Would you like to make a statement or your reflections on this special remark about especially these two characters? And also, Archie and Theodore, remarkable performances, both remarkable.
Thank you.
I really like Theodore to describe me the complex, let's say, psyche and the essence of his character and his real feelings from the beginning in the way that they are changing towards the end, towards Archie.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe we start with that side of it, no?
So you have some time?
Yeah. I'll just go off what you were saying. They're related questions.
Well, thank you. I think that Matthew puts Archie's character Oliver on such an unattainable pedestal, on such a high status level that is close to a godlike figure. Like there's nothing that is above that. There is nothing for some people, and especially in American culture, that is above celebrity culture. And so I think that to have the access, the opportunity to enter his circle, that world that is just so above him, is something that he never thought would be open to him in that way. And so to enter that, there is then no possibility of losing that one chance, of accessing that. And then through it, he starts seeing the mechanisms of power that are at play, and how actually this is not a god, and the people around him aren't that much different than him. They're all kind of just, they all have the same instincts and élan. I don't know how to say it in English, but so yeah, I think then the disillusionment starts to really be in operation. And maybe there's something where Oliver and Matthew are actually very similar and very close, but they're just on completely different spectrums. They're at complete opposite. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think that relates to your first question, too, of the master-servant dynamic and how we start to, once Matthew becomes sort of disillusioned, he sees an opportunity to take control. And there's that scene where he sort of turns into a confident director and begins to sort of orchestrate Oliver's life. And that switch up, I think, is the most interesting part of the movie. Does that answer your question?
Okay, we have one just here.
Hi, it's Natalia Żuk, Carta Berlin. I really loved the movie. I've heard a lot after Sundance, but it's really the one that keeps you on the edge of your seat. You don't know what they do next, like how it would develop. It's a very rare feeling, I would say, and thank you for that. My question is, I think to all the three of you, how you were developing this idea about them actually needing each other, because it feels all the time that also it's very toxic kind of relationship, but none of them break them. It goes on and goes on and goes on, and they feed on each other. So I really love this dynamic, and yeah, would like to hear your opinion how you were building on it. Thank you.
I think that was just written into the script, and it's not necessarily where I thought things were going to go at the beginning of writing it, but I did find it to be the most interesting sort of conclusion to their relationship, in that, like, ultimately, not to spoil the movie, but all these characters get what they want, and it's sort of a strange happy ending where there's this implication, right, larger implication of what does it mean that it took all of this for them to both be true, genuine friends and true collaborators, and that Oliver is now more successful than ever. I just thought it was funny, I think. And I think often the things I find funny are the most dramatic.
I think for me, the like push and pull of a relationship like the one with Oliver and Matthew was really fascinating. And Alex is right. Almost all of that was written into the script, but it presented itself in moments, I think, as we developed in ways that maybe we didn't expect. I think as I was starting to think about Oliver, I think a universal feeling, I think, for anybody in this world is sometimes the feeling of loneliness. And I was interested in that for a second being broken, and despite the power often feeling like it was in Oliver's hands, him really needing the idea, the feeling of someone appreciating him that wasn't on the payroll, feeling even if he was making it up in his head. And Matthew needed the things that he needed from Oliver, and this weird push and pull dynamic began. And as it spirals out of control, he needs him for other reasons. All of a sudden, there's a moment where he sees himself in this video that they make together, and he's like, this is someone that sees me in a way that I've always wanted to be seen. This is someone that understands what I'm trying to do, whether or not this is hurting me or not. And then the big question of, like, how much you prepared to sacrifice for the cost of success, like, comes into question. But it was one of the things that kept on surprising us when it would appear.
Okay, we have a question over here. Yeah.
Oh, my name is Mahari Segi, African Refugee News. I just saw the film. I didn't know what it was about because I don't read the synopsis, so I would just go inside.
It's probably better.
And I really loved the editing because it was not easy. But you use the music to, like when he sings "Love is not obsession." This is perfect for what was the relation between both of them. Because somebody could think about, like, okay, now they love each other, but this was the manipulator. And why did you choose Misha Segal for the music?
I'm sorry?
The music, the score music.
Why did we use the...
No, he's an Israeli composer, the one who made the score music.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you meet him? And if you can tell us more about.
Oh, yeah, actually, the producer of the score and the producer of Oliver's original music is the same person, and it's a friend of mine named Kenny, who I've just known for like 10 years, and I thought it would be. He's a recording studio producer and makes a lot of songs, and like can very easily develop a song like the ones that Archie makes. So I really delegated that to him, especially as I had so much more to pay attention to on the movie. I was like, I know that this guy can go take care of the music. And then Archie is singing all those songs, by the way. And then, there's moments where those songs sort of devolve into score, which is not something that we necessarily anticipated, but just found in the edit. And I think, it became so much more crucial even than I thought, especially near the end, where it's like this specific song that they're making in the studio ends up sort of propelling us both thematically and sort of like story-wise through to the end of the movie.
And it was such a beautifully organic way. So that particular song, in my research, I was meeting with different musicians and people that I was kind of affiliating with, somebody like Oliver, and a musician that I know, a friend of mine, goes by the name of Rex Orange County, and I've been sitting with him for a bit and asking him questions, and I told him the story, and then he said a few weeks later, I have this song that's supposed to be on my album, but it feels like it should be in your movie, and sent me a demo for Love and Obsession. And when I heard it, I had like full body goosebumps. I was like, dude, this is the movie. I can't tell you how much this is the film, but it's the film. He hadn't read the script. And I sent it to Alex. He was like, yeah, this is sick. And then it became...
That works.
It became such a crucial part of the film. I mean, I think that just speaks to the really collaborative and organic way that the film just kept on developing. Like, things would find themselves to be, I mean, when we first started this out, we didn't even think that I would sing at all. We maybe thought that it would all be behind the scenes and the music wouldn't play a key role, and this magic thing happens that everything just starts working and you trust it, and yeah, it was amazing.
Can I, because I never told you this, or any of you, but it was actually also a big part of how it really allowed me to believe in that obsession when, before we started shooting, you made me hear some of the demos that you had been working on with Kenny. And I was like, oh, this really works. Like, this I can see like what type of musician he is and what's his like status and why Matthew would be kind of obsessed with him. Yeah. So it really helped me also to hear the music, like the progress of it. So yeah, I loved it.
Okay, yep.
Claudia Schulmerich, Weltexpresso Frankfurt.
Weltexpresso Frankfurt. I took the floor.
Sorry.
I'll give you a sec.
Ja.
Like this?
Can you hear
Ich habe mich jetzt gemeldet,
I
weil
took
der
the floor
Regisseur sagte, es
because
gibt ein gutes Ende.
the director says there
Oh,
is a
weia.
happy end, and I was
Dieses
thinking to
Ende
myself,
ist
oh
ja
God,
nicht gut. Das
because
ist
this is
vielleicht
not really a
kommerziell
happy end.
erfolgreich,
It might be a
aber es ist
commercially
doch eine
successful
absolute
end,
Niederlage für
but
den
it's complete
Künstler.
and utter defeat for the
Es ist
artist,
ein
isn't
Sieg
it?
des Intriganten,
It's a victory
aber es ist die Niederlage
of
des Künstlers
Matthew,
und ich
but
wundere mich
it's the
sogar,
defeat
dass unter
of
den Umständen noch Erfolg
Oliver.
hat,
And
denn
I'm wondering
eigentlich
why
ist eine
he is successful under these
Persönlichkeit
conditions,
immer auch eine
because
Voraussetzung,
an
dass ich
integral
wirklich
personality
Musik machen
is
kann.
one of the
Und das fand
prerequisites
ich
for
dann
becoming a
etwas
successful
unklar,
musician.
aber natürlich
And the end
interessant.
was a bit
Und will
unclear
jetzt
to me,
wissen,
but it was
wieso
very
sprechen Sie
interesting.
vom guten Ende?
And
Da
why
ich
are you
schon
talking
eine
about a
Frage
happy
stelle,
end?
gleich noch was.
And since I'm
Der ganze
asking a
Film, ich fand ihn
question,
auch
I would
wirklich
also like to make an
faszinierend,
additional
ist für mich
comment.
ein
The
Jungsding.
whole film is
Dass Frauen da
fascinating,
nicht vorkommen,
but it's a thing
ist
about
nicht so
boys.
wichtig. Es
There are
gibt
no
zweierlei
women in
Frauen,
it
entweder
at
die
all.
Groupies
Well,
oder die
there are
sehr
two groups
kluge
of
Managerin
women,
oder was
either
immer
the
sie
clever
ist. Und
manager,
damit
the
war ich
smart
zufrieden.
manager, or
Also ich
whoever
kann so
that
ein
is,
Jungdings
or
gut
the
ertragen.
groupies, the followers, the fans, but that's fine.
Okay, I will try to interpret that as well as I can. The first of it being the idea of the happy ending. I think I was saying that a little bit in jest, but I think the more appropriate word is what you said, which is victory. And it's a victory for both of the main characters in that they both get what they want. And it's sort of this, what you want to feel at the end is sort of a strange disgust with the fact that it's a quote-unquote happy ending, right? And that this is what success looks like for these characters. And you can kind of see it in their faces, and you can see it in the faces of all the other characters when we cut to them as Matthew's sort of like about to answer that final question. And you may wonder, what is it that he's going to say right after we cut to credits? What was he about to say to justify or sort of like smooth over his behaviors? What might he have used as a narrative for his success and for that of Oliver? As to the comment of it being primarily men in the film, I mean, it is truly about, I think, a group of boys and how groups of boys behave amongst each other. And there is an important female character throughout the film, and even in her absence in the second half, I think, is very telling, especially as things get more sort of unjustifiable. It becomes really just about these two guys.
And I was continuously surprised in my research and speaking to a lot of these male musicians how male dominant their worlds often were. I found that isn't a world that I relate to in our world of acting and TV, film, theatre, but being a young male musician, I found them often surrounding themselves with other young men, and that was interesting. And what that power dynamic between what that in this kind of weird toxic masculinity world, it was interesting, those power dynamics. I found it really fascinating.
Yeah, and how boys begin to act when there's no women around.
Okay.
Hello, my name's Mike Roddy from Ireland. I just wanted to ask you, it's a pretty dark film, and
Thank you.
and very good at that. But the toxicity of it, is that based on, because you live out there, is that based on your actual experiences of things that you've, or hints of things that have come to you, that anybody's actually gone quite that far? And is there a tiny bit of talented Mr. Ripley in this, where somebody is moving in?
Definitely, Ripley was an inspiration on it. As to my own sort of personal experiences inspiring the film, I think it's like a healthy abstraction from what I've seen and experienced. I think I've seen these kinds of dynamics at play, and maybe not to the extremes that play out in the film. But it was very important to me that nothing in the film, nothing that happens in the film is out of the realm of possibility. I mean, worse things have happened amongst groups like fans, and like they go to worse extremes than what this is. I wanted to stay somewhat grounded and stay somewhat in the realm of like, this could all happen, and then we could leave where we are at the end and understand that this could go on forever. It never reaches a point of like blowing up, right? These two characters could continue to uphold their relationship for many years and do a lot of great music together, in theory.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Marilena de las Carreras, and I live in Los Angeles, where I teach film, and I have 1 million students that want to ask you, how do I get into the film business? So it was heartbreaking to see the film. It is a conversation all about Eve, but you switch the point of view and you make it very interesting. I wanted to ask, though, about the logistics of shooting in Los Angeles. Is it during the pandemic? How do you manage with the teams? Some locations, the Santa Monica or the Hollywood Hills, a little bit about that.
Yeah, it wasn't always obvious that we were going to shoot in LA, but it was important to me, and it felt important for the authenticity of the film, and I felt like if we got a chance to do it, then we should. It's a very LA movie. Even just the stuff of like Matthew biking around would have been hard to imitate anywhere else. I think as far as the locations, we got very, very lucky. Also, the timing of it, like it was sort of post-COVID protocols, so we didn't have to be doing all the masking anymore. And then we got very good weather the entire time. It was like it would only rain on the weekends. So it was very smiled upon. I especially appreciate that now that most of the locations have burnt down in the fires, that the main house is gone completely. I've seen pictures of it. It's just like torched to the ground. Yeah, so I don't know about the future of shooting in LA, but we certainly got the chance to do it, and it went well. I would do it again.
Okay, we have time for one last question, I think, over there.
What about London? They're so excited when they go.
Wait, where are you?
Just over here.
Hi.
Hi.
They're so excited when they want to go to London, especially Shoreditch. Is it that still there's a sort of flair, and not everything happens in LA, but the creativity is still in Europe, London?
What's the question exactly?
Is London still have all the flair?
Why you chose London to go and shoot, and you didn't leave
it's
it
strange.
in Los Angeles?
It was when I wrote the script. I wanted the world to open up a little bit at that part of the movie, and I wanted sort of this exciting trip for the crew. And at the time, the character of Oliver wasn't British. It was just something that all of these Americans were going to do. And it just happened that when I cast Archie, we decided that he would be British, and then it was more like he was going home to where he left. So that made it a little more tidy. But at the time, it was just like, have you seen The Devil Wears Prada? It's Paris, right? It's like, who gets to come, who gets left behind, and on any trip, you know, personal trip with a group of friends or with a romantic partner, it's always the travel that gives it the opportunity to blow up, because everything's so, you don't have your routine and everything's so unfamiliar. So that was a big part of it. And we almost didn't get to shoot in London, but somehow we were able to.
Well, it's an extraordinary film, and we're delighted to have it in the festival. Please join me in thanking the filmmakers.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was fun.
No,